In this episode, we have a very famous professional footballer, coach, and founder of Toreo Sportswear and El Fresco Academy, Mr. Shota. How are you today?
Hi, nice to meet you guys. Thanks for having me.
No worries. So I gave a bit of a brief on who you are, but can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
So hi, I'm Shota. I'm a professional footballer, or was a professional footballer in Armenia. Um, I'm 22 years old. I was born and raised in Thailand, and I moved to Spain when I was 17 to pursue my footballing career. And in Spain, I basically moved up from the eighth division to the fourth division, so basically amateur to professional in 4 years. And after that, I wanted to change the environment and I moved to Armenia and signed a professional contract with a second tier team in Armenia. And now I'm currently back in Thailand trying to find a club in Thailand.
Your professional debut, like footballing debut, how did that come about? What was the journey like?
Mhm.
And can you just talk about your experience and the emotions that you had getting that debut?
Professional debut when I was in Armenia. And it was a cup game called the Armenian Cup, I think it was. And it was a funny one because it was against the team I went on trials with the first time I got to Armenia. So it was quite an important one for me. But unfortunately we lost 7-0 in my professional debut, so it wasn't the professional debut that I was hoping for. I think I everyone told me that I played well and I had one of the best games I had in a long time because the season before I barely got to play in any games, so I was very happy to actually finally start and play. I played about 85 minutes and I was very happy to be back on the pitch. And even though it was 7-0 defeat, I was very happy with myself, happy with my performance. So I kind of went to the next game with my heads held high, basically.
That's that's amazing that you were able to take a positive out of a tough situation, and nobody likes to lose in any professional sport. But you mentioned that you got more playing time and you played 85 minutes, and the
Hmm.
previous game you didn't get much playing time, I'd assume. How would you say you prepared yourself for that time where, you know, the next game you might not know if you're able to get playing time or not? Sometimes in any team, in any league, no one knows how much time they're going to be playing after they haven't played the previous game. So how would you say you prepared yourself for that specific moment?
But funny story, in Armenia, after I after that game, the 7-0 loss, the next game was a league game, and I thought I was gonna start 100%. Everyone thought I was gonna start, but I didn't, and I was on the bench. And the next game I was on the bench as well, and the game after I didn't even get to I wasn't even in the squad, and the game after I wasn't even in the squad. So it was a tough moment for me, and it was very unexpected because I kind of expected me to play every single game, and so did everyone else as well. So it was quite hard on me because at least in the Spanish team everyone's level was high, so I kind of had to accept the defeat and then work on myself and I had a time to think about what I could do to improve, what I could do to get in the squad. But fortunately, after the fourth game, the next game I was able to start and I was able to get an assist in my first start in the league. So I was very happy with that. And after that, I was basically in the starting lineup till actually the last game with the club. So I think it was a good timing for me to leave.
Now, with your journey, as you reflect on kind of the past experiences and how you were able to bounce back, which I think is really admirable. You faced a tough defeat, which we talk about, but you were able to reflect and get an assist, like you said, and there were so many things that must have happened in between, like you were frustrated, not getting playing time and all sort of things. But as you reflect on your journey and kind of what you went through in the different clubs and your journey in becoming a professional footballer, is there anything you would do differently?
Obviously, probably my mindset at the very start, because um, as you join like a professional team, you get to meet these kind of players that have gone through like crazy experiences and got to play and meet different players and all that. So I get to talk to them, and I was talking about my journey and everything, and I kind of realized it's not about weak mentality, but I feel like I could have bounced back quicker or bounced back better if I had a better mentality or better way of thinking. And you have to accept the situation, and you have to think about what you can do to make the best out of the situation.
So if someone watching this right now is aspiring to be a professional footballer like you and want to play for clubs all around the world, what advice would you give them on this similar note, or maybe something different you would like to tell them? What advice would you to give to them who are watching this?
Obviously, professional footballer is everyone's goal, and that's what everyone wants to become. But um, there are many different levels to professional footballers, and most people only know the top 0.1% of professional footballer. So it's hard to become a professional footballer, but it's even harder to actually go to the professional level of professional footballer, uh, the professional football, that you actually dreamed of when you were a kid, or uh, what you're dreaming of right now. Because this was definitely not the professional footballer's life that I was expecting or imagined. And yeah, being a professional footballer is tough. It's all about the process, and um, having to go and having the willpower to basically go through all the barriers that you're going to face, because you're going to face so many barriers in professional footballers, whether that's with the owner, that's with the coach, that's with the teammate, the environment. There's so many barriers that you have to face. And it really depends on the willpower um to be able to go past these barriers, because they're gonna try, pull you back, push you back. Um, but yeah, if you don't have a strong mentality, and if you let that setbacks kind of like get to you, then that's where many professional footballers retire or quit, because it gets very, very tough. It's very tough mentally as well, not just physically, because sometimes you won't get to play, sometimes you don't get along with teammates and all that. So no matter what happens, just keep your focus on yourself and forget about everything else, and forget about what everyone says. Just accept what everyone says as an opinion, and just accept it, look at it from a third person's perspective, and think, oh, that's another way of thinking. But you can choose which one to keep in you and which one to throw away, if that makes sense. So some advice, you can, leave it at heart, keep it at heart, and like, work, make that your like motto, or like your I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, just accept everyone's opinion, but you can choose what to believe in and what not to believe in, and what depending on what you think is important. So if one person says, "Oh, you shouldn't be a professional footballer, you don't have any, you don't have the skill set to like make it, or to be able to earn a lot of money from it, or to go to the top level," that's an opinion, and that's one way of thinking it. But if you have a dream that you want to get to this level, or you want to keep pursuing becoming a professional footballer, then you should accept that that's also a reality, but don't let that bend your goal and give up on your goal basically, because the sh the strongest what you call it, your strongest companion is you. So if you lose yourself, then those words are going to become a reality. But um if you don't, if you believe in yourself, and if you keep believing in yourself, and if you keep pushing through the barriers and all the things that are going to get in your way, then your dream is going to come true at some point. It might not be today, it might not be in 2 years, it might not be in 5 years, but it is going to become a reality.
Moving away from football, I mentioned in the introduction that not only are you a football player, but you are the founder of Toreo Sportswear and also the business owner of El Fresco Academy. You have a lot going on. What was the inspiration and motivation to start Toreo Sportswear and El Fresco Academy? And what was your journey like? And what sort of things did you experience as you had all these things going on?
So when I was in Spain, especially when I was playing in the amateur level, I had so much time in my hand. So I could obviously go to the gym, I could train on my own, but the reality is I only have 2 or 3 training sessions a week. So there's only so much I can do. And, even as a professional footballer, you have so much time in hand. So if your training's in the morning, you have the whole afternoon that you don't have anything to do. Well, you can go to the gym, but you can go to the gym for maybe 1 or 2 hours. You can't go for 10 hours. So you basically have almost 10 hours every single day that you basically have nothing to do. And I was thinking one day, okay, so I've played football in many countries. I've been to Argentina, I've been to many countries. And I learned so many things from different people and different players. And each country, every country have a different mindset, which was quite intriguing to me. And I learned so much from them. And it kind of made me who I am today. And not many people have the same mentality as me. And I'm not saying I'm like meant to be super strong or anything, but I feel like so many young talents are wasting their potential just because of their mentality. And that was the biggest problem for me as well at the start. And now as well is my mentality and you know, um and all that. So and plus, when you're training on your, because team trainings are usually 1 to 2 hours long, depending on the day, and you obviously have to train more, especially if you're not in the professional if you're not in the professional team, if every professional team is training every single day, and if you're an amateur player and you're not training every single day, then you're never going to get to the professional level. Because if you're an amateur player, you're here, and if you're a professional player, you're here, even though the gap is quite minimal. These guys are training every day, so they're going up. And if you're an amateur player and you're only training 3 times a week, you might be going up but slower. So the gap is going to get even bigger. So what can you do? You got to train on your own. You got to find training partners and all that. So that's why I started a Proceso, because I wanted to support and aid these amateur players who want to become a professional footballer. So because training on your own is very hard. You don't know what to do. You sometimes lack motivation. You don't exactly know what you can do to improve, this aspect, or what you should be, putting most of your time on. Because if your greatest strength is speed and power, you should be working on speed and power, because you need something for you to stand out. Even if you're average all around, there's so many players who's average all around, and that makes sense. So you need to find something, your strength that sets you apart from everyone else, whether that's your speed, whether that's your power, whether that's your passing, whether that's your control, whether that's your shooting. And you find that and you have to work on that instead of working on everything, if that makes sense. Because if you're good at everything, some coach might like that, but most coaches are going to say, okay, so why should I take you instead of this person who can beat everyone on a 1v1, or this guy who has no technical ability, but he can score 30 goals a season, if that makes sense. So that's why I started this online academy and I made it online because there's so many people around the world who needs this, and it costs a lot to do personal training and stuff. It costs about $50 to $100 per hour, which is a crazy amount, and not everyone can afford that. So if I make it online, we don't have to worry about the pitch. We don't have to worry about my travel expenses. So if we can do it online, and all you need is a ball, some cones, or the gym, depending on what you want to do, and that el proceso is it means the process in Spanish. And that's what I want to aid the process of becoming a professional footballer. And I want to give them an insight so that they can take a shortcut to professional footballer. No, to professional football. If that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. And that was a bit of a mistake on my end because I said El Fresco, not El Proceso, which clearly means something in
No worries.
Spanish.
Yeah. And as for Toreo Sportswear, I started it kind of as a joke at the start because we were gonna do a football camp in Japan for young footballers, and we said, okay, we need to make a kit. Um, let's order some, and then we looked at the Japanese catalog, and they're so expensive. To make one kit, it costs about $60 to $80 to make one set of kit, and we needed about 20, so that's gonna cost way too much. And I said, oh, why don't we just make our own brand? And yeah, I came up with Toreo, which means the Spanish bullfight where they get the red flags and the
Yeah,
bull basically runs through. So I thought it kind of matched what my aspiration for the brand was, which was the symbolism of bull, which is like the fierce yeah, being fierce, being relentless, being strong, which kind of match my brand idea, like the brand identity that I was looking for. So that's why I named it that. And my vision for the brand, it kind of stopped because I went to Armenia where I didn't have Wi-Fi or anything, so I couldn't really do anything. I didn't have a lot of funding or anything. So when I am actually going to resume, I had an aspiration to create a community for not just athletes, but for everyone who is like a gym enthusiast or like who's trying to go through a diet or something. Because what's the biggest problem when everyone says, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna change myself, I'm gonna become healthy"? What's the biggest challenge behind that? Which I think is motivation. Because everyone has motivation for the first 3 days, but after that, they're like, "Oh, I'm kind of feeling sore," or "Oh, I'm kind of tired. I did so much yesterday. I'm not gonna go to the gym." So if I thought if we have a community that kind of supports each other and aspire each other, because everyone has their own stories and every goal, no matter how big or small, is a goal. Every achievement, no matter how small, big or small, is an achievement. So one small achievement for someone else might be a massive achievement for everybody else. So I thought if we can share these kind of stories, more people are gonna, are going to be able to achieve their goals, even if it's like, oh, I want to lose, 5 kilograms. And, and maybe this person has been struggling to lose 5 kilograms for, the past 5 years. But, if that person was able to get the motivation or the inspiration to actually go through with her plan, then her life is going to change completely just because of that community, if that makes sense. And I just wanted my brand to be like a symbol, like symbolism of like achievement and goal. And yeah,
That's awesome. I really like the initiative, the reason why you started. The vision is very nice. You explained it perfectly, and I hope that more people take note and take interest in the stuff that you're doing. And with that being said,
thank you.
we're reaching the end of this episode. Thank you so much for coming on. Is there any last words you would like to
Thank you
have?
for having me. Not really, no.
Would you like to promote Toreo Sportswear? Where can they find you? El Proceso Academy, how can they reach out to you? How can they know more information?
Yeah, if you go to my Instagram, Shota_23.10, you can find a link to the Instagram page, and if you can give it a follow. Yeah, if you want to join the online academy, which is basically a one-on-one training online, fully online, so you can join from wherever you want, whether you're in Asia, Europe, Africa, Antarctica, literally anywhere. You can, if as long as you have a phone or a tablet with a Wi-Fi network, you can join me. And yeah, I can get you your first professional contract.
Wow. All right, so everyone watching this, please be sure to go to his Instagram page, go find out about Toreo Sportswear and Proceso Academy. And thank you so much, Shota, for coming on. It's been a pleasure having you. Thank you for taking your time,
Thanks for having
and I'll
me.
see
No
y'all next
problem.
time. Goodbye.
Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.